Why did you choose to run for this office? Mr. Crafton?
Well, one of the things that made me decide to run for this office was the fact that the office always seemed to be in trouble. It never seemed to be quite staffed with the level of professionalism that's needed. As I mentioned earlier, there are over 13,000 active cases in our juvenile court system today. And to run this office well, we need someone who is an administrator, who has those qualifications. I spoke to my qualifications earlier, degrees in math and economics from Vanderbilt, a small business owner. So I feel like I'm qualified to do that. I've been an officer in the Navy, combat veteran, know how to work with people. I've been a city councilman, I know how the agencies interface. So I feel like I can bring all those experiences to this office and help get the office back running like it's supposed to run. It's a $2 million a year budget, 30 employees, you manage 80,000 records, and you really, okay.
Thank you. I too looked at the problems that were going on within the Juvenile Court Clerk's office. Actually, I looked at it in 2006. There was an audit done, an internal audit through the Metro government in 03, 06, and then a follow-up audit in 09. All three of those audits came to the same conclusion, that the lack of tracking of the victims' compensation funds were not available. The cross-training of employees and the new hire employees, and most importantly to me, the communication breakdown between the court system and the clerk's office. I feel like I can bring that communication back to the court system. I have over the years built a relationship up working through the court system. I've got over 300 attorneys signed on my website who practice law in Davidson County who are in support of me. I've got a great working relationship with the judge and the magistrates down there, and that's the reason I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you very much. I don't have a bathrobe, and I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Let me start by saying, currently you can ask my wife, I don't have a full-time job. I took a leave of absence from my job on December the 30th to campaign. I'm going into my 30th month campaigning for this job. I started in February of 08. I didn't realize at the time there was going to be a Republican opponent, so my plans were to go back to work May 5th as a court officer with Judge McMillan's office and work through September, hoping that we would win the primary election and then be a shoo-in in the general. But Mr. Crafton here made those plans different for me. But anyway, so I didn't go back to work. I hold a real estate license as well. I just do that on the side. I've been a full-time employee with the Metropolitan Government for 19 years, so there will not be a conflict with my job once elected to juvenile court. My on-the-job experience training is, of course, through the court system, knowing the ins and outs of the clerk's offices. I've worked in and around the Circuit Court Clerk's office, the General Sessions Court Clerk's office, and the Criminal Court Clerk's office, which Mr. Bradley's a part of, for the last 19 years. I know the way that the clerk's office should operate. There is a $2 million budget that handles the clerk's office on an annual basis. I was a potentate of Alameda Shrine in 2005. We have a $1.8 million budget each year on an annual basis that we kept within our means each year that I was on that board of directors for 5 years. I feel like that experience plus my court experience qualifies me to be the candidate for the job. Thank you.
I've supported my family for the past 17 years, working in the construction industry as a licensed general contractor, as a licensed realtor. I've signed the front of paychecks, not just the back of paychecks. I've had to make $1 million decisions. You know about my education, math and economics degrees. I was a division officer in the United States Navy under combat conditions. I have the experience to run this office. It's an administrative position. I've run businesses. I've develop budgets. That's the kind of person we need. We don't need people, and this is a general statement, we don't need politicians that have never actually worked and made a living on their own. We need people that have gotten out there and worked on their own and supported themselves, because they know how money needs to be spent. They know how hard it is to make it. And so I'm offering myself to do that. And I'm going to take that experience, I'm going to do three things. When I met with Judge Green, she said 90% of the children that go through this system have educational, emotional, psychological needs. One of the things I want to do is institute Operation Helping Hands, where the children come in, their vision are checked, their hearing's checked, their educational levels checked, and we get a volunteer-based group of people to get them the help they need to get back on track. Because one thing's for certain, if we do nothing, and it's nothing wrong with doing more than the job description allows, yes, if it's administrator, but if we do nothing and nothing changes, these children are not going to graduate from high school, but they're going to graduate from the juvenile court system into the adult prison system. So let's get them back on track, get them the help they need so they can get out of this system altogether and work ourselves out of a job. That's my plan. Thank you. Well, with the current clerk being gone, I think that opens the door for new leadership to come in and take charge. I think it's unfair at this point to say who you're going to hire and fire, because we haven't been in there on a daily basis and seen what people can do with the right leadership. I believe in giving people a chance. I believe that under my leadership and abilities, that a great many of those folks can do a better job than they're doing now, and I hope that they'll be able to learn from me, and I hope I can learn from them. I've taken the time to meet with Judge Green, Tim Adjunt, several of the magistrates, Julius Loss, who's the number 2 guy there. I've met with a lot of folks. I understand what some of those problems are, and so with leadership and putting computerization, technology, cross-training, those types of things, I think we can make a lot of changes in the office that are positive.
I do believe in giving everyone a chance, giving everybody a fair chance at what their job entails. I know there are a lot of good people. I've spoken with a lot of the employees there in the Juvenile Court Clerk's office, not taking anything for granted and jumping the gun and talking to these people about their positions. But I too would like to echo the sentiments that Eric said about Julius Sloss. I know that Judge Green has told me that since Julius came on board, he's brought a ray of sunshine to that office. At least calls don't go unfounded down there now. You get a response back, whether he has the answer that day, it may be the next day. But I think everybody needs to be looked at. There's some, as Eric said, new leadership goes into place. Give everybody a chance, put them on a probationary period. If they're willing to work, let them stay. If they don't, send them out. But as far as naming names, I can't think of anybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Another question from the Juvenile Court Clerk candidates, ideas for the future.
Yes, now, we've spoken about this with the mayor. Mr. Sloss is aware of this. We're waiting on the council to come up with the funds to start the scanning process of the files that are currently out of the system because of the flooding situation. There's no sense in leaving those files out and trying to put them back in and have to pull them back out and scan them. They should have been scanned years ago. It will help the matters in the courtroom and make sure that the records are in the courtroom in a timely manner. That would be the number one issue that I want to address when taking office. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Crafton.
Thank you. In addition to the scanning, which is just rolling up your sleeves and doing hard work, one of the major problems that the audit also pointed out is that there's a lack of consistency in managing restitution accounts. Some children's funds are invested making almost no returns. Some children's funds are invested making more return. So that has to be dealt with. The Justice Information Management System, GIMS, is antiquated. It's used primarily for adult-type criminal situations. We need the new software implemented that helps us protect the privacy of kids, and is tailored for children's type situations. So those are two things that we can also work on that would help improve that office.
Thank you.